I mean, you know, it's quite nice because it's like, it's pretty near to the city, also the airport. Yes, we had that for 20 years now. It's all good condition, everything. Yeah.
There's something built. There's 16 minutes. Well, that's all building it. The hotel.
Yeah, there's another one.
Bungalow. Bungalow.
Yeah.
Steel in it.
You said how much, 1,000 and?
1,050 square
That's bigger
meter.
than
Yes.
average.
I measured it just to get like a sort of like a judgment of how big 26 metres is. I measured from the wall to the gate. What's an
Kailangan.
26.3 metres. That means the other then plus your 40 or 41 metres because it's going to be up to 26.4 metres, which is about 1,050.
Natanggal ba dito dapat parang
Yeah, and now I know what 26 metres looks like. When I see another body,
parang may natanggal
And
dito.
is the flooring of the house, how much, how many?
I get 188 square metres.
Yeah.
I think
It's only 3 bedroom.
I don't know my phone. I think it's not on this phone. Not on this phone. This is
Yeah, the
How many
last
phones do you have?
2.
How many phones do you have?
There's some small bits of olive oil plugins on there. It's just
I didn't know
there.
you were rich.
It goes in your pocket. Jam.
You know when you
Oh,
got,
15,
when you got
so I can tell you-
the contract, right?
Yeah.
No,
When you
pick
open it,
pocket. I can't get it
I
out.
open the more.
Yeah.
I said, okay, before we left, both of us said, okay, we get the new phone then. How about we still keep the old one?
Because I mean, phones were expensive, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you get like,
It
okay,
is,
so,
yeah.
what, 4 years old? And I mean, I'll probably better get a new one, you know? And then I did, I wasn't going to use it much and just use it until it completely like fashion size or something, you know?
Yeah. That's what I
That's
was
my
watching
house
YouTubers and they're like,
Outside.
iPhone
That's why the
in the West
unification is
before you
for
come.
sale.
You can get the same phone, but they're more expensive until
Yeah. But,
When I got it, I was like, whoa, they are.
look at the price of laptops here as well.
Oh, it's more like they get
Laptop
higher.
laptop.
Yeah, I got an iPad from
It's about
home.
only 30 minutes,
When I got here,
30
it was
minutes
more
away.
than double. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah, the laptop's about the same, yeah.
Oh,
And then it's cell phone one doesn't, that's 40%.
Ready 20 years now?
I mean, obviously, you want to compare exactly like for like, you know, to identical toys, and then you go, oh yeah, well, that's like 55% of that, you know? But yeah, it's a lot more. And I mean, well, I had my son's old
That's the house, that's my
about
house.
4 or 5 years old now. So I mean, and the Wi-Fi packed up on it. I brought that one.
Kitchen and
You know, why haven't you packed up those here? But I'm gonna leave and put a leave for it. So it's not a big dangerous, you know, so they table it up. But I've got the old, her old cheaper laptop, it's got the Vizio program on it, so you sort of designing like houses and all the extra diagram. But I can't reinstall it on another laptop.
I can't.
And it's an option, maybe it's twice. And I'm ready, if I have installed it, I'll have my 2 shots and that's the end of it. So I thought, oh, until I can get the other one working again, that's getting in power supply for it. I can only use an old laptop. So we see me to do that anyway. But I knew there'd be a lot, so we'd be kind of dumb if we didn't buy one rather than another one, you know. Being cheaper again, if you don't get the value added tax there, it'd be 17% cheaper.
That's 70% cheaper outside of London.
17%, if you're outside of England, in England, you pretty much the same, well, London might be a bit more. You get 70%, 20%. You take 17% off it, or you take 30% off. That's just like 10% take it off. You know, it's a big figure.
I didn't know how it works in England, like in America, New York City, Texas, way more. California, like if you go to Oregon, it's cheaper for everything.
Oh,
And then if you go south to California, it just skyrockets. Oregon has no tax at all for items. It's tax-free state. So I didn't know how.
That's a state law.
Yeah.
Yeah, 20% counting on, like £100 over £20 I mean, we still pay a bit more than that, because you have the haulage to bring it. It's not much under that, it's could be almost like paying half.
Boss, sige kayo muna yung Jeremy.
But,
Just let
yeah,
Jeremy,
to get that,
just
we
let
can
Jeremy and the card
Stakeholder
first.
Hey, Georgia. Hey, Georgia.
One, two. I'm already 1, 2. One more.
Sir, can you transfer to the... Ano niyo ma'am yung doon kinilig?
Yeah, it's not.
Yung closer niyo.
Just cement.
Huh?
It's a relief.
Your head. The baby, now that's right. Ready? Ready, 1, 2. One more. One more. Ready, 1, 2. Next one. She doesn't want that. Oh, yeah.
Okay lang po now? I know.
Like, Daddy, your face has never been so
Alam mo
close to
tayo
me.
mag-picture?
Ah, magkaman ko na kasi ano pa, step.
Baby is hungry now. We
Wala, anak.
Picture muna tayo, tara.
Kasya tayo, kasya
Yes,
kami.
ma'am. Pwede, ma'am. Ready? Ready, 1, 2. One more, ready, 1, 2. Just one, ready, 1, 2. Okay, walkie, ready, 1, 2, 3, walkie. Okay, group hug, ready, 1, 2, 3, group hug. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's... Dami mo, ano
Why did you hug Salvador?
I would like that. I didn't want to have a quick talk to
Sige, doon pa rin. Sa ina-orderan ko. Tapos yung ano, tapos slice na mama. Okay, dilayin mo muna. Ay, kain na.
Oo, sige ka.
Bless muna natin.
O, sige, oo.
Bless us, O Lord, and bless our gifts which we are about to receive from the God. In Christ our Lord. Amen. Eat now. I will feed this baby first. She's hungry.
Okay, ano muna.
And they're real troublemaking, and I think that Gavin Newsom is absolutely running for president so.
Ayun na yung candle, te.
Ha?
Ito yung
Kuya na yung candle. Nakarating lang din. Hindi
Ah,
naman natin nagamit.
And all he does is talk about how it's gonna help people in America. He doesn't care.
remembrance, like,
You don't even have to exercise, you can just have it like, you can have it with It's so easy. Let's say that you were the leading woman for the Democrat Party.
chicken na.
Is it too late? Is it too late for the Democrat Party? I can't figure out what they are.
No, I didn't really figure out what they are either, but I'm glad you brought up Gavin Newsom, because I'm just like staring at it now the whole time. And I feel like if there was a name for that haircut, it would be, come on baby, it's not what it looks like. Like, you know that he just caught, watching him so close, he continued to lie about the phone call when he was busted, and the name so calm, it's truly something so freaky about that. Because you know that politicians are like that, but seeing it in action like that, he's so calm, and he's still just so not bothered by it. And I can't like that word, that was his thing, because definitely, you're gonna lie about talking to someone, Joe Biden, and he's like, well, I don't remember that, nobody would be like, oh, that didn't happen.
Did you notice too, it was something he'd done before.
Yeah.
It was like so clear that it was like a, this man, because like all sorts of lying to women.
Yeah, but I found my coffee, you're gonna be a bit late.
Oh, I did the message them already.
You have?
Yeah, I said,
You messaged them already?
yeah, I said it's about after 2 o'clock.
Analysis, you will not get it anywhere else.
Obteniendo el contenido en YouTube.
Thank you for the food. Saan kayo ka nag-ano ng ano nyo, ng pagkain?
pa rin po sa dati.
Sige, order nyo.
Doon kami lagi nag-order.
Ano mo yung pangalan?
Hindi ko rin.
I-exit mo nga sa akin?
Send ko pa kayo yan.
Oo.
Did the Green Bay Packers make a trade offer to the Dallas Cowboys for
Basta
Michael
matapos lang yung
You have
ano.
a great landing Dickerson
Nga nagtatay kung hindi nakaano.
today after that knee
Tatay lang.
surgery earlier
Tatay
this
lang.
week. And Peyton Manning, one of the greatest
Wala
quarterbacks
sila,
of all
wala
time,
sila rito.
to be very successful during his playing days. Absolutely love. That's all.
Malayo, malayo, malayo.
Oras na oras.
Yeah,
And in
yeah.
case you missed it earlier today, I did a practice reaction as the Eagles kind of got dominated by the Cleveland Browns. Should we be concerned by that? My answer is in that. In addition to everything that transpired in that practice session today, to be sure
Don't
to
think
check
so.
the video out if you haven't already done
You don't want anything to drink?
Let's begin with Michael Parton.
Yeah, I'm what, fun?
The Green Bay Packers have made a trade offer.
my cup.
Of course, Munch is looking for that contract. That will probably make him the highest paid defensive player in the history of the National Football League. And I don't know.
Sprite and that Coke for apple juice.
And his son Steven
Coke for
Jones
apple
are doing. They
Oh,
could
yeah.
have offered
Yeah,
Parson
right.
a contract extension last offseason. They would have saved themselves billions and millions of dollars, but by waiting, not only have they added
Yes.
Lala
You're welcome.
to Dallas Cowboys training camp, taking the focus away from football for a first-year head coach in Brian Schottenheimer, but they have hurt one of the top defensive playmakers in the game. And it has led to a lot of speculation. Are the Cowboys going to sign Parsons? What is the holdup? Or are they doing a trade clause and could they deal him away? Because when you think about the financial situation for Dallas, they gave Dak Prescott $60 million per year. That happened last offseason. Made him the highest paid quarterback in the history of the NFL. They also
Ngayon, ano gusto mo yung namin?
CeeDee Lamb. And the last two offseasons, pinching pennies a little bit for a team that has the highest valuation among all NFL teams. All 32 of them. $11 billion is the current valuation for the Dallas Cowboys. And so this report comes from Ricker, otherwise known as Pretty Rick. And I know a lot of you are going to say, Ricky, really? You're using this report in your show? He has a track record of getting things right and being ahead of the NFL insiders out there like Mike Garafolo, Ian Rappaport, Adam Schefter. And so you put up this tweet here on the Thursday afternoon, barking rumor, because he's got the dog's profile picture. Even though I don't think he will be traded, the Packers have a very serious trade offer on the table to the Cowboys for Michael Parsons. And here's that track record from Ricky Scoops.
Dito ka na yung
Miami Dolphins traded Jalen Ramsey to the Pittsburgh Steelers, where the Steelers sent Nick Fitzpatrick to Miami. Pretty Ricky was ahead of the game. This was the night before that trade actually happened. Great, big trade for the Dolphins. Dolphins are trading away an all-pro player. That all-pro player, Jalen Ramsey. And then before the Steelers traded away George Pickens to the Dallas Cowboys, it was Slick Rick on the scene again. Big Steelers move coming.
Slick Rick.
And then there was this one. He was on Aaron Rodgers to Pittsburgh before a lot of other people were on Aaron Rodgers to Pittsburgh. Rick can confirm, and the watch will eventually end, and then Aaron Rodgers will be signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers shortly before their training camp in July.
When's like Trump meeting Putin in Alaska
Like
today?
that. Well, again, a little joke, but he said this in June, and then before training camp, it was Aaron Rodgers signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers. As far as the Green Bay Packers, the team as offering that blockbuster deal for Michael Parsons.
Oh, I did see part of it.
in the market
Did you see what Trump did when they,
all
when
offseason.
Putin landed?
They're one of the teams
So,
poking around.
before
on
Trump came out,
Hutchinson.
He goes, I'm flying over my B-2 bombers, my firefighters. So he just had them go over his head and boom, like, what the fuck is that? He didn't know we had these, you got it wrong.
Trump meets Putin in Alaska.
Obteniendo el contenido en YouTube.
Some people showing like, Trump just wants to like, you know, if you play hardball, this is what we have, so. Calm down a little bit.
And tonight we have new.
Also, I saw the, where the protests, there's a company called CrowdStrike or something. And they are getting paid 4,000% more money now to send people to protest stuff. It's all, like every protest is getting paid by somebody, they don't even know who it is. So these protesters, none of them are there on their own, they're just getting paid to be there. Waiting for them to start.
Nice.
People are inquiring about the house.
Here's my interview. President Trump reported on Air Force One during the trip here from Washington, a trip that started early this morning at Joint Base Andrews. Okay, President reported Air Force One. We're getting ready to go on. We'll be on the flight for 6 hours. We'll do the interview on there, and then we'll see you at special report in Anchorage. On the other side.
That was a lot.
Tayo na, ano nga, Tats?
Yung
Napkins.
Try ka na?
They hope you're gonna make a mistake. They're looking for this a lot. They feel they would bite this way.
May something going on.
I don't think so.
Kami ay tutulog na. Kami ka na ng ano ba, ng kaya nag-flash ako.
We started after a short break for a call with the
Was flying for 4 years, I never even saw
office on board.
inside Air
You
Force
just
One.
had
Yeah.
this year, and you had a phone call with the leader from Belarus, Lukashenko. And he talked about
Kayo nga.
I asked you
Or
what
kagabi, basta, kahit yun, stop siya.
May bagyo eh.
At least 16 prisoners.
It's coming.
8 ka pa, di ba? Ang ganun yan. 8 ka nila.
Ha?
Pero ano yan? 8 na?
Oo,
It's far.
napagawa din ang sarang ang kanila, may dito.
For a long time, Biden was obviously unable to do it. Even other countries, it's not just Americans, and he was great, he let them out, and I just want to thank him. And believe it or not, there's about 1,300 more, and I think he'll let them out too at some point in the very near future.
What about his thoughts about this meeting that you're going to in Alaska?
He was very positive about it, he's friends with President Putin, as you know, very,
Ganyan
very
yun yung
close and
bata pag kumakain.
they work together, and he thinks that President
Pag
Putin.
kumana kakain ako.
Kasi ano lang naman yan,
Gusto yan. Gusto niya rin kape ano.
madumi siya.
Situation. And he said.
Pero inaano Mr. Galinga, ginagawa yung pag-assume kumain.
I'll tell you right now, nothing's gonna happen.
Siguro ganun pagkain.
Two reasons.
Kaya di ba kami nagkanduman?
I can understand that, there's nobody else that either.
Your friend will give us any
No,
care.
baby, yung anak niya.
This meeting in Alaska to walk away with
Oh, yeah. Sabi-sabi sa kusina.
Deals
May ako nagtraga na ako ng ano. Oo, magaluto. Washing machine. Alam mo.
Not gonna give up any territory.
Sira?
Because you're not gonna give up any territory.
Budgeting nga, isa lang yung anak ko.
Pero imagine, no, sinauna sa
Putin's like, okay.
Tama, ang dami yun. Hindi namin. Kaya nga kami 10.
parang wala alam.
The US News made me think all that territory is
Dahil
Spain.
sa lifestyle dati.
When you go, they say,
Ang dami yun. Saka ang dami yun.
when you ask those people that I'm Russian, I'm like,
Ako nagdyan, lula ko
but you try to say no to our country. Like, people are like, I'm
Dapat
Russian.
yung ganito,
I live in
pinalak na
Russia.
tumutulong.
Should be paying the president and government. And, no, it's Ukraine. They're like, no, I'm Russian. I don't speak Ukrainian. I don't think I'm Ukrainian.
Kaya parang hindi pa ba naman doon sa si Father? Sige, nagpagay.
They say it's supposed to be
Isang
Russian.
kompromiso.
And I was made for years. I was like, oh, what?
But the problem is, they're like Canada, they want their independence from Mexico because
This one, he doesn't listen to me.
Especially in the Philippines, not all dogs are vaccine.
Yeah. He's been biting. He's been biting. He didn't tell me that he's been biting. He's been washing it, and I thought, what's wrong with you? He didn't tell me. I could bash him out.
Depende yung aso sa Italia.
No, this one, he's holding it. So that's why it's not
Ano, baby?
Oo.
Ang baby pa naman takas sa
Yeah. Well, you need to take him to the vet. I had injection, I had everything. Oh. These people would like sometimes to pat whatever. They don't just realize that there is some, you know, even the cat. Yeah. Even the cat.
Especially yung namatay na nabata sa
We already had injection. Hindi na rin ako sila rin ako.
1995. Natatantok si tatay. Once lang natatandokan, ayaw din namin. Kasi visitor siya. Basta.
Hindi na ano sa...
Doon na namin napansin na ano, nung nandikit na siya ng kanunay. Parang katubog niya.
Kasi dapat ano, yung kapapag niya. 4 times, ano, wala pa. Pero hindi, ako kagatin ako nandiyan dito ah.
Sabi kasi dati, ano ito sa ayaw na.
I was bite as well with the dog. Di ba nila?
Ang ayaw. Ulo nila.
you guys get that big one, that big thing of the baby, that picture of the baby, I like that.
Carl, do you know where she got it? Where'd you get this? Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
Where'd you get this?
Bahako. That's at the back of Injak.
Back in India?
Injak Hotel.
Yeah.
There's a printing
Nice, I
place.
like it.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's pretty, I'm telling you, it's pretty clear, you know, it's not like,
Yeah.
For how big it's blown up.
yeah, yeah.
Wala kasi siya nga doon. Spray na pinto.
I just like, every time I go to the bathroom, I come out,
Gusto
there's
namin
new
lagyan namin
stuff.
pang
Up here. I walk, I go to take a nap, come out, there's like new tables.
Wala ko. Yan. Kung ano yun. Kasi lagi sa bata.
Maganda nga.
Sabi ko, sulo lang binigay niya.
Boy, Alan, he's like, you know, he's like, $500 for a book.
Punto na ang talaga. Pero piling ko maano sa
Which I understand want to save money.
kasi maano siya sa plastic. Hindi na siya pag-isa.
Kahit kung gano'n ang binuhay.
Tapos yung talaga,
I know you're gonna get a different place, but
kasi yung test na nakita ko, napas na may both ears plastic.
Yeah, and that's right for the left. I thought this was
Roman, kasama. Tapos nag-stress ako pa ng ulo.
like, it's going to be over with. But
Yeah.
I was like, no, no. There's a good chance they will say no. I was like, oh, I thought this was like 4 hours. Oh, no, no, right. He almost said, he was almost telling me, I think they're going to say no this time. Where it was all of it in the 6 months.
Makanto ka to?
He's like, I'm not going to say no.
Pero kaya mo ako kaunti kung sa sayo ko naman, hindi ko
Kailangan mo lang.
hindi ko pupunta mo sa
Ah, pinag ka na.
Is that England or is that Australia?
ano ka bukaw, pero wala ka rin
Ah, that's Australia. Yeah.
Hindi ba nga gaya?
Sa dito ba kasi sa tapos na ano na ako na medyo
I don't know if it's just big break. That's what we do for Iranian, that's not in America, eh? Some of us bring it shit.
Nakita namin sa
That's
kasi
a big player.
ano pa, sabi ko, how's the baby? Sabi niya, itikip ka nila. Kasi alam ka nila eh.
Okay, so put on your,
Sa... Nagdadala niya mo muna ito.
Is that US? What? I didn't know this.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a thick back, you probably did
No
it,
way.
you know?
If they really did
What else you can, you just have an alternative.
this is supposed to be in Oregon, okay?
This really happened, we would throw the whole
No, but they, supposedly they got rid of all these things.
Kapag kahawig mo, may tayo nakahawig mong ilong sa kanan.
Like, I would be noticed as some old hat.
Is Iran Asian for real?
It's not like we can say it's Russian.
Yung kahit niya ba?
Tingnan mo si Jessa, yung anak niya, kahawig niya na ngayon. Anak namin, hindi ko alam tata.
Yes.
Parang siyang ano, Italian na parang,
No way to have.
Kita niya eh. Lalo ko nga sabi, gusto ko yung hawig ko. Sa may time na,
Besides the
may hospital sa tatay niya.
that was the
Hindi
Boston.
kang ilong, hindi nakabala sa akin.
Yeah. Whatever.
Even the Iranians do that.
so, alam niyo, kaya hindi ko lang kaalam yung mate na pilihan ko. Siya talaga sa
Ano, siya kaya yun. Bakit ako sa ilong?
ano sa ano kanina.
Speaking of Australia, y'all did y'all sent all your criminals to Australia. So it seemed like Mexico trying to do something to America. Y'all had all criminals, y'all sent them to Australia? And how did the country start?
That was a long time ago.
But it went all criminals.
Something in Australia, if you're running for parliament, when you have a criminal in your background, well, you just weren't, you weren't no chance. Hey mate, you haven't got somebody to pull the train and your ancestry, get it. A bit like, a friend running for election, the other guy, this, you know what I mean? Very suspect.
Why not take your own side? Nothing's wrong here.
That's right. Wouldn't entertain it. I'm sorry, nothing seriously, mate. It's bizarre.
Kahapon na, umuwi ko sa Mahayan. May nalibay kasi.
Oh, there. 3 hours ago, okay? I don't know why they think
Hindi
something.
na namin nakita yan actually. Basta nakaroon lang. Pilipas na nakahapon na rin sa bahay. Ilan mo na po kasi baka kailangan ni ating
Yeah,
bukala.
nothing, yeah. Well, I'll play the defense.
Diba dala natin sa reception?
Yeah, but they're attacked anyway.
Dali namin nakita. Ito nga.
Kaya nga ka?
Ganda. At least sabi ko naman parang baka malapit ko ang ay kasi yan yung sa ano niya.
Don't know what damage the Russian company, surely.
Dapat gawa rin ako dito ng tarpaulin nung parang December wedding namin. 25 days.
Because those two people will,
Don't think you're over.
Here it is.
Kaya halos ka mga nagmito sa spot ko. Dalawang parents nila kasi
go ahead and try to make a move.
Kamdiri.
What's up?
Kaya kung hindi ko manilalo, yung mga problema rin na dumadaan sa buhay namin. Tapos pero nalagpasan ba? Nalagpasan dito. Ganun naman talaga balikan sa pagkasama. Stress, pero lang happy-happy. Like now, nag-happy.
Sabi nga nila,
Kami niya kung isa nag-away.
matigas na to yung relationship sa challenges.
Oo, yes.
And
Dahil
you didn't
nga,
go where
advice
my
na
brother
we
did.
get to meet, right? Dami kong kumiba din.
He went down the road.
Pero ngayon consent.
Cells from the top are red inside. Red
Pero
flesh.
maganda naman kasi yung naging.
It was like a Russian guy.
At saka yung sabi ko na amit-amit, mga ano kami talaga kung saan pupunta, yung swimming, ano na siya. Tapos ipapaber ko siya para ipagaling mo para mag-ano siya, magkakabang. Yeah.
May time na kumain. Time na ayaw. Pero okay lang doon.
Ano ka rin simbalo ka? Ay, lulok ka mo. Shit na kaya, ano parang naano ko sa simbalo. That's still birthing the baby.
What?
How funny is that gotta be? That they're meeting, but yet, while they're meeting, we're condemning anybody who gets oil to Russia.
Yeah.
How friendly can that meeting be if like, you just like, you're gonna screw me on the only thing that we make money on, okay? And you're asking everybody else not to sell to me, and you're screwing me. But you wanna shake my hand now and ask for peace? How does that work? I mean, one thing you're screwing me, you know what they see? You're pissing on my back and something's raining. I mean, how does that work? Now, I can see how it works when it says we're willing to work with you on the oil. You gotta, now I can see how that would work. That's the only kind of car we have.
Kasi sa growth spurts daw talaga pag
There's all your money.
May balak ako.
Household money.
Kasama ka?
balak naman kami class kasi nagpapal namin birth certificate nung kailan kayo. Yung base operation nila nga namin, pag-practice na namin. Yung PSA mga next month kailan namin. So, practice na namin. Support, nationalization.
What is it called? I tell you.
Pwede mo ito pang
I think it's better.
Pwede mo ito. Ready? 1, 2. One more. This one.
8 episodes.
Oh,
So, you don't like the windows like Calamity? You know this fake oil.
Yeah.
Oil makes all. Yeah.
All clean under is not clean.
Yeah.
Like you drug your own oil.
Yeah. Oh, he gets right with it. Even the cartel, when they, you see where they get abducted? And he tells me, no. Fuck you. You face it. You know, the kid was going.
Kailangan mo talaga kalaman na.
And he's like,
Kain ka na sa ano, may sopa.
Kasi wala na pumalunggay sa mga ano, sa mga pamilya ang ginawa namin. Pumunta
the other one we're watching is,
sa kapitbahay naman di ba City? May iba dyan, may malunggay na.
Dapat sinabi mo, sabi sa bahay, sa Wednesday gusto mo, marami ka para wari.
Ay, sarap.
Dami ako naging doon.
Nagmamalunggay yun.
here's what lady.
Marami ka anong gagawin mo. Lagay mo sa pizza. Ano mo siya ha?
Nakaano na.
Nakaano na siya.
What? No, breakthrough on piece of
Wala na ako
great.
yung sa abon dyan.
Who would have thought that? I think they'll give up free oil.
Kaya marami dito sa bahay. Papaya, malunggay, kamuti, sanglag. Kami. Ang tawag yun para sa tinola.
Palinis na ano yun.
May hanti ka na. Para uwi ako sa bubig. Dito sabi ko nga kay ano, binabili ako nga balay yung bola.
Pleasantries, that's it. Okay. Hi, let's take a photo picture, and yeah, still hitch tonight.
Ganon.
Kanino yan?
Bahay ko.
Yan ba yung sausage sabi mo?
Aha.
Alam, may tinitiran din ako pati sa
Damit ka, kapatid ko dito sa labi.
sa Lampang Malayo.
Kaya dalawang bahay yung nakikita ko. At saka yung ano dyan, salas ko, nakipitching ko, malaki dyan. O, tingnan mo. Kasi gusto namin lumipat sa Himaras.
Ay, ulit tayo na.
Yeah, just give me a ceasefire for like 20 minutes. Just so they can
Pwede
reload.
ka chika.
Oh, ceasefire. We're reloading.
Ako din mo kayo sa kunin.
Ready to ceasefire.
I know we have sweet potato farm here. I know we have sweet potato farm
You need to transfer the bigger pot.
here. It started on accident. It was accident at first. We saw stuff growing out.
And it will grow having have babies, you know. Before you know it, there we go. You got all the
We
potatoes.
have a bigger family.
Hindi naman ang harvest ng plus mo.
I think Carla can have the leaves.
So,
Yan, ikaw daw sa bukang isda.
I redeemed the bigger family. Yours, I paid for everything. I guess I paid for your bigger family. Because it's too big, I know about it.
You know, I was expecting that Arabian ships will be on some fake. They were saying, Arabian.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're gonna run from the Canada.
They should
If somebody starts bombing us, it's immediate war. Like, we don't.
They should have sent the Trump on while you were gone. Up at Oregon, we went fishing and this was us up.
That they will not follow our standard advice and stay clear of platform in our stock vote. Of course, the fact that he's not just mentioned, he also mentioned character, the European context, the fact that
That's some good arms.
he is saying that he is about saying that the entire
I hate to tell you, Carla, but the whiteness is showing through here. I don't see the darkness there. I don't see no shadow yet. I see a lot of white there. Hey, she gets the best of both worlds. The nose and the white.
Even the hair when the sun shines, it's like brown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what I'm saying is, normally you get a little bit of a cookie cutter, little brownie there, but no. Got white in the nose.
Yeah, my skin and her blood.
Ano siya?
A positive.
Hindi kasi siya free
A positive, B positive, and blood type.
I wanted to know that blood test. I'm sure I had a blood test, whatever that was, and probably no gamble, but it's kind of important to know that because you're sure you know it's right.
The only reason I know is that somebody say, oh, you're B positive. And I thought, I didn't know they come off blood. I was like, yeah, I'm positive. You be positive. You be positive. What? He's like, your blood is B positive. Oh, okay, yeah.
And that's when he did that, like, oh, I never let my friends have to do that.
So, if I go for some level, see, I want to get my blood checks, so what it is, nothing yet. It's the same time,
Oh, it's an emergency. You got time for all this stuff. You got to get it to you.
you're putting in the paperwork,
Oh, over here. Over here, you're dying.
to tell me, and family witnesses,
Oh, over here, you're dying, and they'll get their money like, hey, we're in the middle of surgery, but that heart's gonna have to wait for a second.
yeah.
It hasn't gone through yet. The money hasn't gone to the bank yet. They go, okay, keep going.
Just on crowd, yeah.
Keep
Oh,
going.
well, no.
Your things, what do you call it?
I know what you're saying.
It's on your phone, it's buffering.
But yeah,
It's buffering, and the guy's going, yeah, we got 30 seconds left, well, it's fucking good.
They always did that lousy self.
Jesus Christ, you're like, come on, dude. Really, can we go? No, I'm sorry.
We got a car out there, you can take me if I die, yeah.
As they say, checks in the mail.
Yeah.
Sa klaseng mo ang bulat ng like, sa Google Drive.
Oh, when I was in a hospital a week here, and I'm telling you, for her, I was like, man, you gotta make sure we get money, because these motherfuckers, you know, they don't want to let you go. They'll help you, but they won't let you go unless you know. You can't go get a drink of water down the hall. Hey, where you going? You're going. You didn't pay?
Thank you.
Yeah, you don't fuck around. They don't fuck around.
Message ako eh, Clark. Thank you.
We actually let it lunch you up. So I thought, oh, I'll be taken up again. But that doesn't bring us for yeah. And then they very quick, yeah, oh yeah. You're not sick now, you weren't sick when you were with us, you haven't signed up, no problem. But no, it took about 2.5 months. Going through and...
Wait, was it a cross or a tip cross? Like, I thought it was going to cross with one on. You may actually say. Never had it.
Oh, no, this is actually for applying for it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that's good new medical thing.
Yeah.
I did that, I don't know if I had to do it, but they just offer you free medical, and if you fail it, you know. But they make it sound like conference here, oh, it's part of the
Oh,
service.
it's free, yeah. But we want to find out how sick you are.
Yeah.
They love charging you.
You're okay.
Take
money now. Yeah, it seems to be falling on for a long time, you know, it's like, I mean, it takes so long, after you go for medical, okay, yeah, no problem, 24 hours, I'll do the doctor, but no, it's so hard about, yeah.
3 months is long.
Yeah. You're not really covered for that time, you know. Most by luck, something happens, and can't wait till you get accepted to do the deal, and actually you've got, I'm not there for a certificate yet. It's an easy certificate. Began it in the moment, like, I think we this week. Took my money already, so look at me.
Yeah. Mine's do the joke where you have two couples, they go with the doctor, and one of them's got Alzheimer's, the other one's got, not sure if it's AIDS test, Alzheimer's test. They're both going to the doctor. One lady's name is Mary, and the other lady's name is Mary. Anyway, that name's still a club. Mary Club. They go in there and they take the test, boom. They get the results, and one goes, hey, listen, the doctor wants to there's a problem. They're both put N. Clark. It's a Mary did, so we got to take the test again. So they call the young couple, and they say, okay. They call the old couple, says, look, that's my social security. We can't afford to take another test. We don't have the test. Doc, you got to help me out. Help me out. And he goes, well, is there any other cheap way they can find out the difference? One has Alzheimer's, He says, well, this is very unorthodox, but I'll tell you what, do this. Take your wife to the park. If she comes back, don't shag her. Yeah. She doesn't have Alzheimer's, but she's got the AIDS. That's the cheapest way I can tell you that. That's the cheap way. I don't know what they thought. Like someone was gonna have a breakthrough. Oh, you know what? You're taking my own. I don't care. Oh, you know what? Well, yeah. The reason why is because they think that they're corner Zelensky. And you know what he did say? He sent something through the EU saying two things. Yeah. EU and him sent something saying there will be our territory. Okay? That's the first non-starter. And you will not so that was it. So see that's that message in there. That's
all Russia wants. That's a non-starter.
Pinapick-up nila dito sa taas. Sa bayad, 60 ano. So lahat niya. Pinapick-up nila door to door.
We were saying that. They said he had a butt case.
So 120 ano, pick-up niya delivery.
Oh, you got some of the buttons down in Kansas.
Sino yung tatlo? May Facebook sila.
Bakit magpapakasal ka na? Bakit magpapakasal ka na?
See, Russia has bases in the last two. You don't think he's going to go alone? There's Russia in the base right there.
Okay.
Not as very close.
Ito yung Facebook na friends.
When you fire that school,
Yeah, like
yeah.
Well,
we're only $500,000. It's worth like 10 trillion. We got to get 500,000.
although, let me tell you something. Although that was a good deal, when we got the reverse, we screwed ourselves when, who's it that signed the Panama Canal? No. Who signed the Panama Canal with Panamanians? We made a deal for $1. Yeah, what's President Carter? No.
Oh, and the Panama Canal.
Yeah. We sold it for $1.
Yeah, a bit cheap. I don't think I thought 50 at least. Come on.
Right. I'm not thinking to myself, I mean, hey, the worst part about it is, how many millions or a billion of dollars back then created?
Not.
Well, you see what they did. You're right. And then
Then there's some plane in China. China's buying the plane for millions of dollars all the way.
Yeah.
They're building a bridge. All the Chinese people came from. Stuff.
I mean, it's as soon as you and it's French guys first.
Yeah.
Sea level.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
If you look at that one, got malaria killed like thousands.
Yeah.
When the states did it, they sterilized the place for malaria. So at least they get to that one problem. I still believe malaria-free even today. Yeah.
You know what's crazy? When they were coming out with the statistics for what do you call it, COVID, okay, they were saying, oh my God, this is the worst thing we've ever had. I'm like, hey, when they had what do you call it, the polio or the other one, it killed 40 million. I mean, come on, it's not even close. You know?
They're also saying all hospitals are 95% full. Hospitals before were 95% full.
Yeah.
They didn't say that. They're like, all hospitals are 95% full. Or if you get sick, you're not going to get help. Everyone was full. They were already 95% full. Like it didn't change.
I would have thought like, in America, certain money to be made from it. Probably all getting sick, build more hospitals.
It's all about money.
You're gonna get the money back. Whereas in England, everyone else is nothing, just stick hospitals everywhere, goes they absolutely need it.
Well, right now, the thing that they're doing to reverse that is, all, they just signed the law, and he told them, he goes, you got like 20 days in which, like 75%, 50% of all the medical and all that, go down. Otherwise, we're not funding you. You can't do it. Oh, yeah, that's crazy.
Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, our negotiations have been held in a constructive atmosphere of mutual respect. We have very thorough negotiations. We were quite useful. I would like to thank once again my American counterpart for the proposal to travel out here to Alaska. It would make sense that we've met here because our countries, though separated by the oceans, are close neighbors. So when we met, when I came out of the plane and I said, good afternoon, dear neighbor. Very good to see you. In good health and to see you alive. I think that is very neighborly.
Trump's doing something else this thing with you.
Kind words that we can
They're typing the same things for liars. Here's one of the closest, I want to bomb us, okay?
Maybe you gotta build the trust or translator. Translator, they're working for his fire. He's like, oh, when the piece or whatever turns out, he wants to kill you. He's like, why do you think I'm borrowing above your...
He's like, as he's talking, look above you and look through.
It's a red dot in your face right now.
Could you imagine if a red dot was there, somebody had laser beam?
Oh, that's
Like I have a laser beam, I have a laser, and I can put a bar, I'll shoot it up in a thing, when you bring it, right? But if I think I shot that in the air or something there.
Oh, then you'd be shot.
Oh, fuck, it's done.
I was just in the city of Magadan in Russia. There was a memorial there dedicated to the Russian and the U.S. pilots. And there are two flags, the U.S. flag and the Russian flag. And here as well, there is such a memorial. There is a military burial place several kilometers away from here. There are so many pilots that buried there who died during that dangerous mission. We're thankful to the citizens and the government of the U.S. for carefully taking care of their memory. I think that's very worthy and we'll always remember other historical
Everything we're talking about is everything.
calling enemies together.
All the storm trees, oh, I like you, I still gonna take my oil.
Help us rebuild and foster mutual beneficial and equal ties at this new stage, even during the hardest conditions. And that's another that have been many summits between Russia and the U.S. for 4 years, and that's a long time. This time was very long for bilateral relations, and to be frank, they've fallen to the lowest point since the Cold War. I think that's not benefiting our countries and the world as a whole. Sooner or later, we have to amend the situation from the confrontation to dialogue. And in this case, a personal meeting between the heads of state has been rolled over naturally under the condition of serious and painstaking work, and this work has been done in general. Me and President Trump have very good direct contact. We spoke multiple times. We spoke friendly on the phone.
We still
And special envoy of the president, Mr. Wickoff, traveled down to Russia several times. Our advisors and heads of foreign ministries kept in touch all the time, and we know fully well that one of the central issues was the situation around Ukraine. Administration and President Trump personally facilitate the resolution of the Ukrainian conflict, and it's to get to the crux of the matter to understand its history. It's precious.
You want them to join you. They don't want to join you.
The Ukrainian nation has said it multiple times, the brotherly nation, however strange it may sound in these conditions, now the same beliefs and everything that's happening is a tragedy for us. And terrible that actually sincerely interested in
Okay, so this one cash run, all these place kind of whatever it is, they make all the money, they're the gold mine, they send all this money here, and these people treat like shit. Straight up. Yeah. I mean, they want out. They're like stepchildren over there. Oh, yeah.
At the same time, look at this, that in order to make the settlement last and long term, we need to eliminate all the primary roots, the primary causes of that conflict. And we've said it multiple times, to consider all legitimate state adjustments of security in Europe and in President Trump, as he has said today, that naturally the security of Ukraine should be ensured as well. Naturally, I would like to know that they find reached together with Congress. And if they speak, I don't bring the rest of them.
They got smart. They said, hey, we're like number one oil producers. We don't need your permission. So they just decided to make a pipeline from the U.S. They made a deal.
It's still very symbolic. Still, we have that growth of 20%. As I said, we have more for joint work. It's clear that the U.S. and Russian investment and business cooperation has tremendous potential. The Russian and the US can offer each other so much in trade, digital, high-tech, and in space exploration. We see that Arctic cooperation is also very possible in our international context, for example, between the forest of Russia and the west coast of the U.S. Overall, it's very important for our countries to go back to cooperation. It is symbolic that not far away from here, the border between Russia and the U.S., there is a so-called international data. I think you can start over literally from yesterday into tomorrow. And I hope that we'll succeed in that. In political sphere, I would like to thank President Trump for our joint work, for the well-wishing and trustworthy tone of our conversation. It's important that both sides are result-oriented, and we see that the President of the U.S. has a very clear idea of what he would like to achieve. He sincerely cares about the prosperity of his nation, still understands that Russia has its own national interests, and I expect that today's agreements will be the starting point, not only for the solution of the Ukrainian issue, but also will help us bring back business-like and productive relations between Russia and the U.S. And in the end, I'd like to add one more thing. I'd like to remind you that in 2022, during the last contact with the previous administration, I tried to convince my previous American colleague that the situation should not be brought to the point of no return when it would come to hostilities, and I said it quite directly that it's a big mistake.
Even he said, but Biden was out to lunch.
When President Trump said that if he was the president back then, there would be no war. And I'm quite sure that he would be so. And I think
He was a little bit, he was asleep at the wheel.
that overall, me and President Trump have built a very good business-like and trustworthy contact. And I have every reason
He
to
treats him
believe
like a
that
business,
moving
the
down
way
this
you're supposed
path,
to.
we can come
And the other guy,
back to
it's
sooner
all
back
about,
to the end of the conflict anyway. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. President. That was very profound. And I will say that I believe we had a very productive meeting. There were many, many points that we agreed on. Most of them, I would say.
See how the other one's reading and he's not?
That we haven't quite got there.
The other one read the fucking whole thing.
So,
never read.
as a deal, as a deal, I will call up Data, I will call up
Yeah.
the various people that I think are
But he doesn't want somebody
appropriate.
else to come with, see, like, I'm gonna tell you what I would say.
Today's
Somebody
meeting, so
They may read them,
ultimately,
it's not from him,
to
someone
them,
might
they
say
want
for
to
you.
agree
Yeah,
with
That's not even from him.
Mark
Ay,
and
mga
Steve,
kapatid.
great people from the Trump administration.
May bigay ko sa'yo ng medicine.
Sige, sige, sige.
John Radcliffe, thank you very much.
Kasi
With
nakapag-ano
some of
magpaano.
really
Star,
great
Star's
leaders
been
that
in
have
the
been
job.
on
Star,
We also have some tremendous Russian
Starmer,
business
Starmer,
representatives here. I think
Yeah, oh, you
anybody
be,
who wants
you
to
be
deal
good.
with us, we become the hottest country anywhere in the world in a very short period of time. We look forward to that. We look forward to dealing. We're going to try and get this over with. We really ran some
Kaya
great
ano,
Congress
kami uuwi.
today. I've always had a fantastic relationship with
Wala pa naman pala.
Vladimir. We had
Some brain cells working there.
Sabi ko,
interviewed with by the Russian government.
I know. I
With the
know.
President,
Come on, here you go.
understood it. I think he's probably seen things like that. In the course of his career, he's seen
One foot out of the grave.
He's seen it all, but we had to put up with the Russian. It was an upset, but what we saw was very criminal. And it made it hard for us to deal with it in terms of the business of all the things that we'd like to have dealt with.
She couldn't even
But we'll have a good
but
chance
she
to
was allowed to say,
So,
what
just
part
to
of it
very
you forgot to
quickly,
hear.
I'm going to start
Yeah.
making a few phone calls and tell
And
them
she
what
could
happened.
turn if you
But we had
want
been
to
extremely productive and many points were reaching. There are just a very few that are left, some are not that significant. One is probably the most
That also
significant.
tells you, like,
But we have a very good chance of
She
getting
said
there.
something
We
for
didn't get
an
there,
hour,
but we have a
but
very
only
good
10
chance
minutes
of
is not
getting there.
here.
I'd like to
So,
think.
this is not her, some of them tell me, I'm controlling her, the only valid here is the president,
What's nice is I get to see
Mark,
you
president, and mom, is saying for now,
almost as
you know,
famous
10
as the
minutes,
boss.
you're allowed to
But,
hear.
especially this
Mom,
one right
run the
now.
president, or somebody.
But we had some good meetings over the years, good productive meetings over the years. And we had that in the future. Let's do the most productive one right now. We're gonna stop. Thousands of people a week from being killed. The president wants us to do that as much as I can. So,
Last week cost
again,
50 cents,
Mr. President, I'd like to thank you very much.
$25.
We'll speak to you very soon and probably see you
I'm
again
going
very
to
soon.
the moon.
Thank you, mate. I can jam you up.
Teka din, Mark.
Interesting.
Sabi ko yun, smiling.
I
Yung
just
sa
see the
muli, nalala ko yun, yung sa kabilang doon.
And thank you all.
Mataba na.
Thank you.
Dala nyo na yung doon. Diba kung makakasala pa sila doon?
Okay, wow. So this is what we just.
Washington for love, really?
I love it. The National Guard in Washington, D.C.
Washington DC was you can't trust him. Putin is a thug. You can't
Sabi
trust
sila
him.
yun, ha? Pagkakatulog ka ba nila kayo yun? Ha?
Don't go back.
Pag umiyot ka na mag-feel ka kasi sa yung kaya. Kaya mo na, huwag mo ka iyak. Kukulin yung hayaan mo yun. Okay, next time. Kung gagawin mo, matay ka na yung kaya na niya.
Ano na yun? Pinaparinig mo sa kanya mga baby.
Eh, hindi yun. Dinagay mo na yun.
Para sa prestige ko.
Makatulog lang yung sa nalagyan din. Nakalit ka nalagyan pa ng mga tao.
We got new nominees.
Joining us now, welcome back, Steve Meyer, Council of Economic Advisors Chair, and Federal Reserve nominee for the Board of Governors. Steve, welcome back to the show. I don't have any comments on my stock market.
We're gonna get rid of one guy, that's a Howell.
Maybe a reception out. You tell me. Why is
Howell.
Great to see you, Barry. Thanks for having me back. I mean, look, I think financial markets see the same thing that you do, which is that President Trump is a historically pro-business, pro-business president. I mean, think about the incentives that you've got in the economy for business to boom. You've got the full expensing and incentives in the One Big Beautiful Bill that's going to make capex and investments soar. You've got the no taxes on tips, on overtime, on Social Security. You've got deregulatory tailwinds, which high red tape left and right so businesses can engage and expand their businesses when they want to. And you've got energy abundance too. And then also,
No tax on Social Security. I don't think so.
I think stocks on talking to Scott Bessent last night, who plays some second player in the show, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. I think the heart and soul
Officially signed on
and he believes.
Or tax-free, you know, the tax in that case, £12,000 as no tax. That will always equal your old age pension.
Kasi alam mo, kung may pag-over dito sa bahay namin, may makita rin
You never
dyan
get
sa
taxed.
bahay.
Taxing Social Security is great too, because there's tax money already, taxing is tax.
Kaya kung magpunta rin
Yeah.
sa Facebook namin, hindi ka makagalaw sa mga pagpunta sa
Really think that tax is how to put that money away. It's really being taken out. It's not your big double thing.
And also, we just saw Donald Trump says that Social Security is stronger. And also carrying that is why the Senior Citizens League Senior Advocacy Group has proposed a one-time catch-up payment for Social Security
And they just announced like, if you're president, they cut $275,000 Social Security that were legal. You only hear legal shot
the Senior Citizens
in 4 years, get $275,000 illegal people Social Security benefits for the rest of their lives. Since he was president for 6 months, he's already and that was
Ever signed into law, the Social Security Act of 1935, and we're going to make it stronger, bigger and better. We're campaign on every single place for seniors earning protection for security. Under this administration, we're keeping that promise and strengthening Social Security for generations to come. People in stories of the 6 years, 7 years Social Security will be gone, and it will be the Democrats that are going to buy, because they don't know what they're doing.
No.
But it's going to be around a long time with us, very much, and you'll be surprised to hear some of the numbers. I'm delighted to be joined by the Commissioner of the Social Security Administration, Frank Musignano. I mean, in the world of business, some of the little things known, but he's had an amazing operating officer, and JP Morgan Chase, who makes the difference. Months is amazing. Almost 60 million American seniors rely on Social Security for peace of mind and a life of dignity and economy. These Americans paid into the system and they deserve leaders in Washington that will protect.
Yeah. You have a private pension, like a private company. Do you pay taxes on the money that you pay to that scheme, the retirement?
The 401k is the retirement, and it's free for the for $5,000 per year.
Ah.
$5,000 per year is tax free. If you want to put more than that.
Because you're going to be thousands of
Well, I think
pounds
that's-
more than your child when you were
Did you know
born.
Social
Yeah.
Security just turned 90 years old? That's right, the program that millions of Americans rely on for
Hey,
retirement.
90 years old.
But I did that, I did the $5,000 in 401k my whole life, and it's tax free.
Yeah,
And here's something
yeah,
you might
yeah.
not know.
So 40 years.
President Donald Trump just signed a proclamation calling Social Security a sacred promise and declaring that under his leadership, it's being reviewed. He even said you don't have to pay taxes anymore on Social Security. That caught a lot of people's attention. But what does it really mean, and how does it affect you? Stick with me, because we're going to break this down in a clear, practical way, so you can understand what's happening and what it might mean in the future. Before we get going, I'd love to hear from you. What is Social Security? Is it your main source of income, or more of a supplement? Share your thoughts with me. I read through them, and it really helps build our community. And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss updates like this one. Now, Social Security has always been about one big idea: making sure people who spent their lives working aren't left in poverty once they retire. That promise has stretched across generations. And today, nearly 70 million Americans receive benefits every month. It's huge. It's the difference between stability and uncertainty in retirement. But even though the program is deeply trusted, it's also facing some serious challenges. Trustees have been warning for years that unless changes are made, the trust fund could be depleted by the mid-2030s, and that would mean automatic benefit cuts of around 20%. That's not a small thing, that's a big deal. So what did Trump do here? On August 14th, 2025, which also happened to be the 90th anniversary, he signed a proclamation. Now, a proclamation isn't a law. It doesn't change how money is collected or paid out. It's more symbolic, more of a message. But he used the moment to highlight changes his administration says are already happening. He called Social Security a program that was in collapse when he returned to office. He pointed to long wait times at field offices, seniors sitting on hold for ages, and a massive backlog of disability claims. And honestly, if you've ever tried calling Social Security, you probably know exactly what he's talking about. Those wait times can be frustrating. His answer was to bring in Frank Bisignano, a former private sector executive, to lead the Social Security Administration. Trump praised him as someone who could fix broken systems and outdated technology.
Yeah, you just
And Bisignano himself said, "We found all this
everything's
seniors
still done
waiting months for
by paper.
answers. And
When Trump
decades
became
old
president at the same time, it's still done by
slowing
paper.
everything
And
down.
the reason they didn't
So
want it
we fixed
electronically
it.
done because
And
they
according
didn't
to the
figure
White
out
House,
where the problem
service
is.
has improved.
And then they're
Wait
like, no,
times
no,
are
we want to do it
short.
by paper.
Phone calls are being
And
answered more
then
quickly.
it's not in
And
an
the
electronic
backlog
system,
claims
so you
is
can't
starting to
figure out
shrink.
what the
If those
problem is.
improvements hold up, it's a big change. And for seniors waiting for disability checks or answers, that kind of shift matters a lot. Another thing Trump emphasized was fraud. He said his administration had removed hundreds of thousands of undocumented immigrants from the benefit system
Undocumented,
and
illegal.
cleared out
Yeah.
records showing people supposedly over 160 years old. His words were, no illegals, no fraudsters, no fake accounts. The message here was that Social Security dollars are for seniors who earn them and not for fraudulent cases. Now, critics say a lot of those so-called supercentenarian account for clerical errors, not actual fraud. Independent reports have shown fraud does exist, but usually not on the scale those numbers suggest. Still, the fraud angle resonates because people want to know their money is safe and not being stolen. And you see, that ties into trust, which is just as important as the checks themselves. If people don't trust the system, they're less likely to feel secure about their retirement. But the headline that grabbed the most attention was Trump's claim that seniors don't have to pay taxes anymore on Social Security. Now let's slow down here, because in reality, eliminating taxes on Social Security benefits was part of a much larger proposal called the One Big Beautiful Bill, and that bill has already been signed into law. So when Trump says it's done, this time he's mostly right. For seniors, that means more money in your pocket each month. Imagine getting your Social Security check and not having set aside part of it for taxes. That's immediate relief. For someone living on a fixed income, Even a couple $100 makes a real difference. Now, the challenge is that eliminating those taxes could also accelerate Social Security's financial problems. That money helps support the trust fund, and without it, unless it's replaced with other revenue or spending cuts, the system runs out of money even faster. One report estimated that recent policy changes might move the insolvency date up to 2032, just 7 years from now. So then, the real question is, how do you balance short-term relief with long-term sustainability? It's like fixing a roof on your house. You can patch a leak for now, but if you don't address the bigger structural issues, you'll face bigger problems later on. Trump's approach is to tie Social Security to his larger economic vision. He says tariff revenues are strengthening government finances, the stock market is up, and retirement accounts are growing. In his telling, a stronger economy overall supports a stronger Social Security program. Critics push back, pointing out that tariff revenues aren't earmarked for Social Security, and tariffs can raise consumer prices. So even if the government collects more money, you might be paying more at the grocery store or for household goods. That's the tension. It's not as simple as money in, money out. There are ripple effects. Now let's talk about the symbolism of the proclamation itself. Trump used it to position himself as a steward of Social Security, connecting his leadership to Roosevelt's legacy. 90 years ago, Roosevelt signed the Social Security Act to fight poverty among seniors. Trump is now saying, I'm protecting that promise, I'm modernizing it.
We can never just say,
I'm making
no,
sure it lasts,
there's no
whether
tax.
you agree or not. The ceremony was about more than just a piece of paper. It was a campaign message too, meant to reassure seniors that he's on their side. But of course, there's another side to this. Many Democrats and independent analysts argue that fixing wait times and cleaning up records are good steps, but they don't address the bigger financial cliff. They point out that unless Congress acts by raising taxes, cutting benefits, or some combination, the trust fund will run dry. And eliminating taxes on benefits could make the problem worse, not better. Some even argue that the fraud numbers are exaggerated to score political points, which could undermine confidence instead of respect. What's interesting here is the contradiction. On one hand, Trump loudly proclaims that he'll protect and preserve Social Security. On the other, some of his top advisors have made comments calling it a Ponzi scheme or suggesting it should be sunset. Even Republican lawmakers are divided, with some pushing ideas like raising the retirement age or changing how cost of living adjustments are calculated. Those changes would directly affect benefits. So there's real concern among seniors about what might actually happen down the line. And yet, despite all this, the public remains deeply committed to Social Security. Polls show most Americans want to keep it strong, even if they worry about its future. And everyday people have ideas. Some say just raise the income cap on high earners, others say cut benefits for the wealthiest retirees, while others push for more privatization. The debate is not about whether to keep Social Security, it's about how to keep it solvent and fair. So then, where does this leave us? Trump's proclamation is a reminder of both the strength and the fragility of Social Security. It's strong because it has lasted 90 years, survived wars, recessions, and political shifts. But it's fragile because the math doesn't lie. Without changes, the money won't stretch far enough. And the reforms announced so far, while real in terms of service improvements, don't fully address the bigger picture. It's like celebrating a birthday for a 90-year-old relative. You're grateful for their longevity, but you're also aware that their health needs careful attention. And here's the open question. Are these reforms the start of true healing, or are they more of a reprieve, buying time without solving the fundamental issues? That's what we'll have to watch closely. Because at the end of the day, Social Security is not just about numbers, it's about people. It's about the retiree who depends on that monthly check to buy groceries. It's about the widow who relies on survivor benefits to stay afloat. And it's about the younger worker today who wonders if the system will still be there when they need it. So yeah, there's a lot to think about. Some of what Trump announced will make life easier right now. Shorter wait times, faster responses, maybe even more money in people's pockets with the tax relief. But the longer term questions are still hanging out there, waiting for answers. And guess what? That means the conversation isn't over. Not by a long shot. So then, let me know in the comments. Do you think eliminating taxes on Social Security is worth the risk of pushing the system toward its solvency faster? I'm really curious where you all land on this. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe because there are a lot more to come on Social Security, Medicare, and retirement planning. These are the things that affect.
Okay, the NFC North, let's get into this division. That is the Detroit Lions, the Minnesota Vikings, the Green Bay Packers, and the Chicago Bears. Last year, this was the #1 division in pro football if you look at win-loss records. The NFC North was 45-23. That's a 662 winning percentage.
Money, huh?
The AFC West was second. They were 40-28. But these teams were led by Detroit. 15-2. Minnesota went 14-3 and finished second place. Heck, Green Bay had a nice season, 11-6, third place.
Minnesota 14-3 this year?
Bears.
Yeah.
But if you look at this
They
division,
were,
as exciting
if they
as
won
it
the last game, they
sounds,
would have been
all
number
three
one
of
in
these
the
playoff
NFC.
teams
They lost.
got hammered in the postseason. Detroit 55-23 at home, very disappointing loss. Green Bay got hammered at Philadelphia, 22-10, and the Minnesota Vikings got beat up bad by the LA Rams. So when you look at the NFC North, there are 4 offensive head coaches. Dan Campbell, the Detroit Lions, don't kid yourself. Campbell can call the plays. He's a very good offensive coach. Kevin O'Connell's with the Vikings, Matt LaFleur of the Packers, and Ben Johnson, the former offensive coordinator of the Lions, takes over in Chicago. All 4 of these guys very involved in the offense. All 4 of these teams, here's the DraftKings prediction for who's going to go to the Super Bowl and win it. The Lions are 11-1. The Packers are 20-1. The Minnesota Vikings are 28-1. They got a new quarterback, you know. And the Chicago Bears, 45-31. Chicago has not been to the Super Bowl since 2006, when Sexy Rex was the quarterback. Rex Grossman, the Green Bay Packers, haven't been since 2010, when they won their 4th Super Bowl. And the Minnesota Vikings, they haven't been to the Super Bowl since 1976, when Bud Grant and the Purple People Eaters were in the Super Bowl. And Detroit, they're the only team since, well, 1966, when the Super Bowl tournament started, they're the only team in this division that has never gone to a Super Bowl. So that needs to change. We got to get some juice going in this division. The quarterbacks are the big story in the NFC North. Jared Goff clearly is the best quarterback, in my opinion, in the North. 134 starts, 9-year starter. This guy is awesome at the line of scrimmage, and in that dome where they play at in Detroit, the conditions are perfect. He is really having some sensational seasons as a Lion. Jordan Love's got 33 starts. Remember, he was injured twice last season. Good young prospect. I think this will be the telltale season for how good Jordan Love can really be. Caleb Williams, just the 1-year starter in Chicago, 17 starts. He had a rocky road, man. And J.J. McCarthy gets the keys to the Minnesota Vikings. We don't know much about him. He was injured last year in the preseason. In the NFC North, take a look at this statistical. Do you say data or data, Jake? What do you say, data or data, Clay? Data, I say data. 3 teams in this NFC North are top 10 scoring offenses. Think about that. The Lions, #1 in the league, 33 points a game. Green Bay, 8th in the league, 27 points per game. And Minnesota had 25.4. They were 9th. The Chicago Bears,
you don't say it that way.
they were down at the very
People in England say that.
Aluminum.
Aluminium.
Oh, yeah. I think it's aluminium, yeah. You say aluminum. Yeah.
Defenses.
Aluminium.
5th in the league, 19.5.
Well, every syllable's great.
Green Bay was 6th, 19.9. The Lions were 7th, 20.1 points per game allowed. The Bears were last.
Well, we never run out of aluminium.
So, ayaw ko na lang para yun ang list.
Offenses, good defenses.
If he's a problem, yeah, there's like 1 in 19 or something, aluminium or aluminium
The
base.
pass rush, I
We
think,
never
is
run
an
out of aluminium
interesting way
ever.
to to really look at the strength of your defense. The Vikings were 4th in the NFL last year with 49 sacks. Pressure defense, they blitz a lot. Green Bay is 8th. Their defense is on the rise. Chicago was 16th with 40 sacks. The Lions, they were 23rd with 37 sacks. Now, I think it's important to look at the kickers. Jake Bates of the Detroit Lions came out of nowhere, man.
Napoleon Bonaparte, the president, yeah, the aluminum plates. Really? And they were more valuable than silver. He guessed a silver plate. Yeah, an aluminium one. So that was like that's a Lamborghini or something. It became realised how common it was.
Did Napoleon discover it?
No, it just discovered around this time.
Okay.
But it was like, yeah, it was more valuable than silver. So they worked out the efficient ways of actually refining it. You know, oxide aluminium. That was the difficult bit. And getting
There's a lot more.
yeah, there's no shortage of it, but you're going to turn it into metal. Yeah, all the other chemistry as well, isn't it? Well, they got that right. Okay, it's quite cheap.
I'm a big fan, and I will say, most of your hot takes do come true at the end of the season. We hear a lot of I told you so's from you. So let's go ahead and roll through it. We're going to go ahead and show the look at the AFC playoff picture, okay? If we begin...
I want to see what Ravens.
Sitting there, meaning you have them winning the AFC West over the Chiefs. Explain yourself.
I believe for the first time in 8 or 9 years, this will be the first time the Chiefs will not win the AFC West. And when you look at what has ailed the Chiefs, when you talk about making Super Bowl runs, it's been elite defenses, right? Championship type defenses. You go back to that Super Bowl versus the Tampa Bay Bucks. The Bucks were able to suffocate Patrick Mahomes. Just look at last year, the Philadelphia Eagles and their defensive line. Well, when you look at the Denver Broncos, they have a championship type defense. And they added to it this offseason, right? Dre Greenlaw, Talanoa Hufanga, John Day Barron. These are all guys that are going to be frontline starters for them. And people don't talk about this D-line enough. They led the NFL in sacks. Nick Bonito was also in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. You see right there, most consecutive 9. I believe this will be the first time. After 9 years, that streak ends because of the championship type defense the Denver Broncos have.
Okay, we're starting off pretty hot here. No love for the Chiefs still this season because not only do you have not promoted division for the first time in 9 seasons, as we just saw there, but in your opinion, they also go on to lose in the wild card round to the Texans.
Yeah, well,
makes sense.
it's never been like that. It's only been, you get the third season, you'll be able to play Sunday. Just in Brazil.
Opening Saturday, every single year, wild card weekend.
And at the time, at least they're having